Hello, sports fan. This is Steven here with Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering NFL Week 14, top 10 NFL teams. Before I get right into that, you got to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates each and every time we have breakdowns here at Sports Choice Plus. Without further ado, let's get right into the action. It's been an explosive week of NFL games. We saw a lot of teams win, a lot of teams lose, a lot of movement in the top 10. A lot of these teams are making their way towards the playoff run. And as we make our way to the final weeks of the NFL season, you're seeing the creme de la creme rise to the top. And here's the top 10 of those NFL teams. Coming in at number 10, you're looking at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are an interesting bunch. We know that the defense has gotten a little better over the year, but you have to ask yourself, how long can this team sustain this type of up and down movement as far as the offense and defense? You're looking at them at 8-4, and you're asking, can Russ carry this team into the playoffs and also carry this team on his back in the playoffs? A lot of teams tighten up defensively. A lot of teams tighten up offensively. You get all those deficiencies handled, and you get the best product towards the playoffs. The defense is still yet to do that. When I look at the Seahawks, they have a formidable offense. When I look at all the weapons that they have, them getting Josh Gordon back, it's going to be a phenomenal offense. But when it gets to the defensive side of the ball, that's what really worries me. And I know they're doing good right now, but that could spell for trouble later on before the playoffs and even in the playoffs when they're losing a couple of matchups. But I'm looking at the Seahawks number 10 right now. When I love Russell Wilson, the offensive line has to do a better job of protecting him a little bit better. But overall, this offense for the Seahawks can carry them. Russ has a little bit of magic left in him. I know he can do it. We've seen him win a Super Bowl before. I think he can do it again. But coming in at number 10, you got the Seahawks at number 10. Coming in at number 9, the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are in an interesting position as well because they're jostling for position with basically the Tennessee Titans. And with the way that this could shake out, they or both Tennessee could both make the playoffs with how well both these teams are positioned in the rankings. You're looking at the Colts. They have a pretty good defense. Everybody knows their defense is pretty solid. A lot of young guys up and down that offensive line as well. You're looking at basically the leader of this team, Phillip Rivers, right now, and how he's performing. It's going to be a shootout with the Raiders, I believe, coming up this week, and I think that they can get the job done. You never know. It possibly could go back and forth, but you got to ask yourself, do you trust the offense to be able to hold its own and the defense to carry them home? The answer is yes. The Indianapolis Colts are one of the best teams at forcing pressure on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that that's going to bode well for them towards their playoff push. They could catch a lot of teams slipping offensively and defensively as well. So either way it goes, the Colts are number 9. And I have them at 9, being at 8-4. Looking at number 8, the Miami Dolphins. Seeing how this team is young, this team is hungry, and they're playing with a lot of passion and heart. They may not have the talented pieces that they need to go ahead and say they're going to win a Super Bowl this year, but Brian Flores is putting together a hell of a product. You look at Tua and how he's fighting through his struggle. He's fighting through injuries to stay on the football field and do what he has to do to win football games. You see how they were taking cheap shot at the Bengals after cheap shot from them, and then they responded as a team. So this team is playing really locked and loaded. The game against the Chiefs is going to tell us a lot about where this Dolphins team is right now overall, because that offense of the Chiefs is going to force this team to definitely put the pedal to the metal. We're going to see if they can keep up with the Chiefs, and that's going to definitely change their power ranking if they can win that game. So I like the Dolphins right now. They're playing extremely well, and they bounced back from that loss, and then they got that win against the Bengals. So that's why they're at number 8. Coming in at number 7, I like the Los Angeles Rams. When you look at the Rams offense and how they played well, extremely well, Jared Goff is an open book. And, you know, sometimes he gives you good quality play. Sometimes he doesn't show up. He's pedestrian. So the key is, can Sean McVay each and every week from the remainder of the season dial up amazing plays just like they did? Can they put the trick plays in there? Can they put the standard plays in there? Can Cooper Kupp and company, can Woods and company, can these guys really get out and really ball on the offensive side of the ball? You know, the defensive side, you know, Jalen Ramsey and company, you know, Aaron Donald and company. They have two of the best positional players in the NFL. So their defense is going to do what it's going to do. They, for the first time this year, I believe, just gave up a receiving touchdown to the Cardinals this late in the season. That's crazy just to hear that stat because they play extremely well defense in Los Angeles. So the Rams right now are a title contender. They're one of the title favorites as well because of that defense and because they have Jared Goff at the quarterback position and they can manufacture points quickly as we saw them do this weekend. So that's why they're there. Coming in number 6, the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people are saying the Green Bay Packers are soft. A lot of people are saying they're not. When you see them play each and every week, they seemingly win in different styles. Some teams, they play aggressive. Some teams, they don't. But Aaron Rodgers is consistent to be the MVP for this team each and every week. You look at just overall where this team is and where they look forward to. They're probably going to win the NFC North. And right then after that, you're looking at positioning. Can they catch the Saints if they stumble and, snatch away that number 1 seed from them? They would like a game in Green Bay because when it's cold outside, they're used to playing in the elements. They would love to bring the Saints out in the elements and force them to play out in the frozen tundra. But I think Aaron Rodgers he's just balling right now. He's one of my MVP candidates, and he has these guys on offense playing well. The defense has been stepping up. The last 2 or 3 games, we've seen them improve not only on their tackling, we've also seen them improve on a couple of different things as far as creating pressure towards the quarterback of the opposing team. But that's why they're there. They're pretty good, and they're balling right now. Aaron Rodgers is definitely the reason why this team is 9-3. Devontae Adams as well needs some MVP love as well. But these guys are balling out. Coming in number 5. Number 5 is very difficult because I was torn between 5 and 4, but I have to go with the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are an extremely well football team, playing well, Josh Allen right now, a season high and career high in completion percentage. You're looking at him, the last game they played against the 49ers, no interceptions thrown. You're seeing exactly how he's a field general. You're seeing some of the throws he made in that 49ers game where he's throwing it directly over a linebacker right in between where the safety is and his guys are catching the ball. His connection with Cole Beasley has been phenomenal. The Stephon Diggs trade is paying off huge dividends for this offense. They're going to get John Brown back soon, so you're looking at all this team can do on offense, and then you close your eyes and think, the defense. You haven't mentioned anything about the defense. The defense is going to attack you. They're getting healthy with Ed Oliver on that defensive line. He's undersized, but he's creating an Aaron Donald-like pressure each and every play, and that's refreshing to see. Disruptive players on this defense is really a thing, and I think that a lot of these guys on here are underrated on this Bills defense. Sean McDermott deserves a head coach of the year candidate. He gets my vote for one of the best coaches in the NFL this year. So that's why the Bills are at number 5. Coming in at number 4. This is different and it's difficult. The Cleveland Browns. When you look at the Cleveland Browns and how well they're playing right now, that 2-headed monster at running back, you look at Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, this team seemingly is playing better without Odell Beckham. You look at the first 6 games of the season and how the offense was a little stagnant and stale. And then the second half of the season, I know they had that outburst against the Cowboys in that one game, but the second half of the season, you saw exactly they're dialing up plays that do well for Baker Mayfield. He doesn't have to think much. It's a one-read play, and then he can either run and scramble to get more yards, or he can just simply dump it off to a running back or a wide receiver that's in a flat or a tight end. They're utilizing 2 tight end sets. They're utilizing Jarvis Landry as the wide receiver position. Juice is actually going out there and getting multiple catches and 100-yard games. You're looking at just, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are feeding off each other's energy. And that's creating energy for the defense to come out and be able to hold teams down that are supposed to go off on the Browns, but they can't somehow. So I'm picking the Browns literally to continuously rise up this chart because they're playing it. They're talking the talk. They're walking the walk. You saw against Tennessee, they came out, hopped on them real quick. Even though they didn't finish the game strong, they held them off in time to win the football game. So that's what I like there with the Cleveland Browns. They're my number 4 team this week. Coming in number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a lot of fool's gold involved with this. The defensive losses of different players on their team right now has them dropping so low. The loss to the Washington football team as well has helped this as well as far as they're dropping from the number 1 spot. You look at them not being able to run the football, the deficiencies, they have to work on those deficiencies. It bit them on national television. The Washington football team, as good as they are, they should not have been able to stop Pittsburgh's elite passing attack or rushing attack. They should have mustered up more than 21 yards. I know that you have James Conner that literally is on the COVID list, but you have to ask yourself, can you still run the football with anybody else? Do you have any running backs? Get Juju in the backfield. Do some trick plays. Get Clay in the backfield. Run some wildcat. Do whatever you have to do to generate rush yards, but you have to do something to keep the offense crisp and keep the defense on their heels. It doesn't matter what it is, but throw wrinkles in there. But right now, because they literally, played a soft schedule early on, they were able to get to where they're at. I respect their 11-1 status, but right now, teams have leapfrogged them because they're playing better than the Steelers right now. Even though the last couple of games we saw Baltimore open up basically the blueprint 2 weeks ago on Thanksgiving of how to catch them off guard, and then teams just follow suit. Washington followed right behind them and did the same thing, except they were successful winning it. So that's why the Steelers at number 3. Coming in number 2, Who Dat Nation? The New Orleans Saints right now are number 2. Even though they don't have Drew Brees right now, Taysom Hill is balling out right now. He's doing whatever he needs to do. You look at just where they're at right now in the standings. They're 10-2, one of the best teams in the NFC. The defense is attacking. They're playing well. You look at just Cameron Jordan. You look at Davis, the linebacker. You look at so many different things they have defensively. Latimer. They have so many different weapons on defense, and then you forget they have offensive weapons like Kamara, offensive weapons like Taysom Hill. And then when you look at Michael Thomas as an offensive weapon, then you got the second and third receivers starting to step up. Jared Cook is extremely well there too. You have so many different playmakers on this offense and defense for the Saints. I think it bodes well for them without Drew Brees. He's trying to come back as quickly as possible, but I would say don't rush it. If Drew Brees can sit out for the remainder of the season until the playoffs start, I would let that happen so Drew Brees can be 100% healthy, or healthy enough to where he wouldn't be, detrimental to the offense for the Saints. So that's why they're at number 2. Coming in number 1, the number 1 spot, defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And you know already what's going on here. Andy Reid has that offense dialing up each and every week. The beautiful thing about this is Andy Reid and company are still coming up with plays and things to wow the NFL. It's not just the same offense each and every week. Andy Reid is calling up plays. He's making them off balance, so when the Chiefs get on the field, they're confusing a defense, and then all of a sudden everybody's scrambling, and then boop, somebody just runs out the backfield, an offensive lineman or something like that, and then boop, it's a touchdown. It's different things that like that. Andy Reid and company have this offense firing on all cylinders. They're going to be a problem. Now that the Steelers lost, it's going to be a race to see who can finish better in division and who can score more points. I have to like the Chiefs' chances because of their schedule, for the rest of the year. Everybody's going to be giving them their best shot. They're going to be everybody's version of the Super Bowl when they play them towards the end of the year. So Kansas City should be pumped. They should be ready. Honey Badger in that defense is underrated, and they're getting after the ball. They're creating turnovers. They're hitting hard. They're doing everything that you want a defense to do. They do have to cut down on some of those yards that they give up through the air. But besides that, they are really legitimately on par to possibly repeat for the Super Bowl. That's definitely different. So I think it's going to be refreshing to see this week's games, this week's slates for football. And I think it's going to be top tier for this week. So all you NFL fans, leave your comments in the comment section below. Definitely tell me what you think about all my top 10s. Definitely check out the archives each and every week. And you want to make sure you're liking and subscribing and sharing the NFL videos here at Sports Choice Plus so we can come to you each and every week. And I thank you for your time, and happy holidays to you and your family.